Hey there, welcome to PlotCraft. Today, we're diving into the mind-bending world of Mirage, a perfect blend of romance, horror, suspense, and mystery. Buckle up, because the story will keep you guessing until the very end. The movie begins with a news report about an impending electrical storm, expected to last for 72 hours. The reporter warns of communication disruptions and electrical malfunctions. As the news continues, the focus shifts to a young boy named Nico, who is setting up an old video camera atop a vintage TV. He adjusts it to record himself as he plays the guitar. Nico's mother interrupts, unintentionally ruining his recording. She affectionately reminds Nico about his school the next day, and asks him if he has recorded songs for her to listen to while driving. Nico confirms, and she leaves, visibly pleased. The scene transitions to Nico's mother driving. We catch a brief glimpse of a distressed woman sitting alone in a parked car, drinking in silence, a mysterious and ominous visual. Back at home, Nico hears a loud commotion from the neighboring house. Concerned, he peers through the window and sees an unsettling scene. Unable to resist, he ventures out and enters the house through the open front door. Inside, he discovers a woman lying lifeless on the floor, clearly murdered. Suddenly, a man, presumably the woman's husband, rushes down the stairs, clutching a knife. Terrified, Nico bolts out of the house. In his panic, he runs into the street and tragically collides with an oncoming car. The man follows, dropping his weapon as he stares in shock at the boy's lifeless body. He falls to his knees in the middle of the street, overwhelmed by grief, as onlookers gather at the horrifying scene. We next see a woman, Vera, lying in bed with her daughter, Gloria. They share a heartwarming conversation about their new house. It's clear they've recently moved. Vera receives a call from her husband, David, who sounds loving, but is caught up in work meetings. They express their love, and he promises to make it up to her. The story then shifts to an elderly woman and a child looking at the sky. The woman tells the boy that a storm like this occurred years ago, adding a sense of foreboding. In another scene, we learn more about Vera's backstory. She was once a talented nurse who left the medical field to care for her daughter, Gloria. While chatting with a colleague, they express surprise that someone as skilled as Vera would leave medicine. Vera admits she didn't want to do anything halfway. If she couldn't give 100% to her job and her daughter, she had to choose. She jokes that had she stayed, she would have been the best neurosurgeon in the hospital by now. Later, David arrives home and pulls out an old TV and video camera from the closet. The setup is the same one Nico used years ago. Curious, they connect the camera and play the tape. The screen flickers to life, showing a boy, Nico, playing his guitar. The vintage feel of the footage sends chills. Just as David removes the tape, the TV turns itself on without warning, broadcasting analog signals despite the technology being outdated. As the storm intensifies, Vera and David host a dinner with their neighbors. During the meal, one of the guests shares a chilling story. He talks about the night Nico witnessed a murder in the neighbor's house and died tragically after being hit by a car. His mother quickly stops him, likely trying to protect the others from the haunting tale. Later that night, Vera comforts Gloria, who's frightened by the storm. Their bond is palpable as Vera soothes her daughter. David and Vera stay up, reading articles about the murder case from years ago. Vera notices a matchbox in David's pocket and teases him about smoking again. He explains that he only had one cigarette while at a hotel, trying to brush it off. Suddenly, Vera wakes up to a strange sound. The TV is on again. To her shock, Nico appears on the screen, seemingly alive and playing his guitar. Vera turns on the video camera, and Nico can see her too. Their interaction is bizarre yet emotional. Vera realizes that Nico is about to leave his house the moment that led to his death. She yells through the screen, pleading with him to stay inside. She warns him that if he goes out, he will die. Her desperation saves Nico from the tragic fate. But when Vera wakes up again, everything has changed. She finds herself in a hospital, preparing for surgery. Confused, she learns she's now a practicing doctor, her past profession. The life she remembers has vanished. She leaves the operating room in a panic. Vera's horror deepens when she goes to Gloria's school and discovers that no one remembers her daughter. Frantic, she heads to David's office, but he doesn't recognize her. Their entire history together is erased. Back in the past, Nico confides in his friend Ader about the strange incident involving the neighbor. The unsettling details grow as Clara, another character, seems terrified by what Nico tells her. In the present, Vera visits the police station to report what she experienced. She explains how she communicated with Nico through the TV and prevented his death. However, the officer is understandably skeptical and presses her for more details. Vera's world is spiraling out of control as she clings to the hope that she can find her daughter and reclaim the life she's lost. Nico sits by the TV, waiting patiently, hoping that the mysterious woman from the future will contact him again. As he waits, he sketches a drawing of Vera, the woman he saw on the screen. Suddenly, he hears voices outside. Peeking through the window, Nico sees Angel and Roman deep in conversation, which raises his curiosity even more. Vera undergoes an MRI scan, but the results show nothing unusual. Her brain activity is completely normal. The doctor explains to Vera that she met her husband, David, because she performed a life-saving surgery on him. The investigator listens closely to their conversation. The doctor then leads Vera to her office, her neurosurgeon's office, showing her evidence of her current life. When the doctor touches Vera, she begins to remember fragments of her new life. But it only deepens her confusion. She realizes that everything changed when she saved Nico in the past. Nico watches Angel leave the house and takes the chance to sneak inside. He finds Angel's wife, Hilda, lifeless in the bathtub. Horrified, Nico opens a drawer and discovers passports, including Hilda's. Before Nico can escape, Angel returns home. Desperate, Nico hides under the bed. From his hiding spot, he watches in terror as Angel dismembers Hilda's body to fit it into a suitcase. Nico notices a watch with the initials CM engraved on the back, an ominous clue. Vera returns to her old home, searching for the vintage TV and camera. A woman suddenly confronts her. It's Ursula, David's current wife. Vera is shocked to realize that in this new timeline, David is married to his ex-girlfriend, Ursula. Ursula calls the police, accusing Vera of breaking in. Vera manages to escape before the authorities arrive. The police begin their search but fail to find her. Meanwhile, we see that in this timeline, Angel and Clara are now married and seemingly living a normal life. Nico remains hidden under the bed as Angel receives a call from a woman. She sounds distressed and asks Angel to retrieve a watch she left behind while they were having an affair. To Nico's shock, the caller is revealed to be Clara, the woman now married to Angel in the present. In the present, Vera hides in Ader's car, startling him. She convinces Ader to listen as she explains the bizarre events and how they were supposed to meet on the train in the original timeline. Ader leads her to David. When David touches Vera's hand, she experiences a flash of memory and asks Ader why he didn't sit next to her on the train that day. Ader has no answer. Vera tells them that Angel killed his wife, Hilda. In this reality, no one knows that Hilda was ever murdered. Vera insists that Nico witnessed everything and ran from the house after seeing the crime, but Ader didn't believe her. Vera also saw Ader's uncle working at the airport's passport control. On TV, Vera watches an interview about a newly published novel based on a boy's story about the storm and mysterious events. Vera becomes determined to find the author and confirm the truth behind her memories. Vera and the police inspector attend a lecture given by Karen Sardin, the author of the book, inspired by Nico's story. Karen explains how Nico claimed to have communicated with a woman from the future during the storm. She theorizes that the electrical storm could have created a time-space bridge, allowing communication between 2 points in parallel timelines. However, she admits she doesn't know what happened to Nico afterward, and only used the story as inspiration for her book. Karen also warns Vera that once the storm ends, the bridge between timelines will close permanently. Vera explains to the inspector that she needs the old television and camera to communicate with young Nico and undo the events. She also remembers that Angel once confessed where he hid his wife Hilda's body at his old workplace, the abattoir. The inspector, skeptical but intrigued, agrees to help Vera if she can provide proof. Vera leads the police to the abattoir, where they find Hilda's remains. This discovery confirms Vera's story and results in the arrest of Angel, Claire, Angel's current wife, and Roman, his uncle, on suspicion of Hilda's murder. The inspector gives Vera a note with the address of a hotel room. Vera arrives at the hotel and knocks on the door. Monica, the nurse and David's former co-worker, answers the door, and Vera forces her way inside. She finds David in the room and realizes that David has been having an affair with Monica, the same affair hinted at in her previous timeline when she noticed the same matchbox from Seville. Vera confronts David and demands information about Nico. Feeling cornered, David admits he has access to bank records and uses them to help Vera find Nico. The police interrogate Angel, Clara, and Roman, who explain what really happened that night. Hilda found out about the affair and returned home unexpectedly, enraged and armed with a knife. Hilda tried to attack Angel and Clara. During the scuffle, Clara accidentally stabbed Hilda, causing her to fall and die. Roman helped cover up the crime by using his position at the airport to forge records, making it seem like Hilda left for Germany with her ex-boyfriend. The watch Nico found that day, engraved with the initials CM for Clara Medina, was proof of Clara's involvement, but at the time, no one believed Nico. In the past, Nico's mother took him to several specialists because of his insistence that he saw a woman on the TV. The family eventually left their home to escape the scandal and Nico's obsession. Young Nico spent countless hours at the train station, hoping to see the woman from the future again. Era tracks down where Nico now lives as an adult. Surprisingly, she encounters grown-up Nico on the train and recognizes him. Nico, who is now a police officer, had been helping Vera all along, though he didn't reveal his true identity. This revelation shocks Vera. Nico is the same person she tried to save as a child. Nico explains that after seeing Vera on the train, he changed the course of events, unknowingly becoming part of her new life. He recounts how he waited years for the day when she would remember their shared history. When Nico kisses Vera, she suddenly remembers her life with him, but she's heartbroken over the loss of her daughter, Gloria. In a moment of desperation, Vera jumps from the building, forcing Nico to act. Nico rushes to the old TV setup and contacts his younger self, warning him not to look for the woman from the future and to let events play out as they should. The final scenes show Vera waking up in bed next to David in what appears to be a restored timeline. Gloria, their daughter, is alive and well. Vera checks for the old TV and camera, but they're gone, evidence that the connection no longer exists. However, when Vera notices the same matchbox from the hotel, she realizes David is still having an affair with Monica in this timeline too. In this new reality, Vera anonymously leads the police to Hilda's hidden body, ensuring justice for Hilda once more. When Nico, now an officer, arrives at the scene, he doesn't recognize Vera. However, Vera smiles, knowingly reassured that everything is as it should be. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this recap of Mirage and love thrilling, mind-bending movie stories, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more exciting movie recaps. Your support means the world to me, and it helps me bring you more amazing content.